That's going to be fun. Talk a little bit, Todd, about Coach O'Leary. I mean, you weren't here when he was hired, obviously, but he has methodically built this program to a point where it's now a BCS Bowl winner.
Yeah, you know, I actually have a lot of history with Coach O'Leary because we were at Georgia Tech together. So you know, I've known him for a long time, and he does it his way, which is the right way. You know, I think the thing we're most proud of is not only does he build programs, but he builds young men, and we're really proud of the fact that when all's said and done, when you looked at those top 10 teams at the end of the season, we had the highest graduation rate, and that's something that at UCF we're extremely proud of, and that's a tribute to George and his staff.
I got to tell you, Todd, a lot of times you hear coaches and administrators talk about the first goal we have as a college football program is to educate our athletes. A lot of times it's just lip service, but I mean, Coach O'Leary and you guys really do. That really does seem to be the goal.
Well, it's something that he, that's the one thing he promises when he recruits these kids and to them and their parents is that he can't promise them that they'll play or that they'll end up in the league, but he will promise them that they'll get an education. And and everybody that knows Coach O'Leary knows that he's a pretty focused guy, and for him to be focused on that, I think, is what not only drives the success on the field, but holds these young men accountable, and that's why they're so successful off the field as well.
Talking to UCF Athletic Director Todd Stansbury. Todd, as long as we have you here, a very tenuous time in college athletics right now. There's talk of full cost scholarships. There's talk of the Power Five, the quote unquote Power Five conferences wanting more autonomy and perhaps even breaking off into their own division. What's UCF and what's the American Athletic Conference have to do to keep pace?
Well, I think we need to keep doing what we're doing, which is winning. For UCF, we gotta use our size to our advantage and build the base. That at the end of the day is going to be our race in the hole, and we've got to convert this large alumni base into a donor base that's going to allow us to continue to compete at the highest level.
Now, a big vote coming up in August, I guess. Is that when the NCAA board meets and votes on whether the Power Five gets more autonomy?
Yeah, I mean, basically the autonomy vote's going to take place in August. We're pretty sure that there is going to be some autonomy in what the Power Five or the Equity Five or whatever you want to call whatever they want to call themselves, or for the American Athletic Conference, it's important that we continue to have a seat at the table, that we continue to compete. Obviously, when we were sitting here a year ago, we were going into a brand new conference that nobody knew what was going to happen, and we come away with our BCS win, and UConn, of course, wins 2 national championships in both basketball. So we feel really good about our conference, and we just got to, keep winning and keep playing those other 5 conferences to show that we belong in that lineup.
Okay, great season last season, obviously. 12-1, BCS Bowl victory. You dismantled Baylor in the Fiesta Bowl. UCF fans now have tasted that success. What are you going to do for an encore, Mr. Stansbury?
Well, that's where it all. That's the encore is always the hardest part of one of these types of. When you've had a season like this, but the great thing is we got a great team returning and a great schedule, and so we've got to, that's why they play the games, and we're going to start it up against Penn State over in Dublin.
Let's hear it for UCF Athletic Director Todd Stansbury and UCF Coach George O'Leary for winning the Mikey for State Coach of the Year. Coming up next.